Hey, folks, I got a couple of great clips here for you from the Blaze Media interviews at the Leadership Summit, where Tucker Carlson was getting to interview all of our Republican candidates, with the exception of Donald Trump. And there was really a lot of good information come out. You actually get to see how these people feel about things like the Ukraine war. Got to listen to a little bit of Vivek Ramaswamy, who I think is a very sound guy. I think Trump ought to pick him as at least a cabinet member, if nothing else. This guy is, he sounds like he's got the right ideas as well. If I was going to pick anybody, if Trump wasn't in the running and I had to pick anybody from this lineup of Republicans that are trying to contend for the job of president, I would have to go with Vivek Ramaswamy over Ron DeSantis and, of course, Mike Pence and Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, and the whole rest of the bunch. I think Vivek is probably the closest one to an America First candidate besides Trump. Now, I will be voting for Trump no matter what. He will get the primary, and he will win in 2024. My flag says so. I believe it. We're praying for such things, and we're going to will it so, folks. Just the amount of people that are now involved in politics, involved in paying attention to what's going on, and pissed off enough that they want to be involved in our election process, if it is nothing more than to go make their vote twice before Trump goes back. Primaries and general election. ASAP. Coming on quick, folks. I can't wait. Now, I've got two clips here for you. One is Tucker Carlson blasting Mike Pence a little bit over his thoughts about the Ukraine war, and another one of Mike Pence just shows you how out of touch he is. And I won't spoil it for you. I'll just go ahead and let you find out for yourself. I'll play you the video, folks. Let's get into it. Oh, and I'm excited about getting to see Sounds of Freedom tonight. I can't wait. I can't wait. All right. And this is courtesy of Blaze Media. Hopefully I won't have any copyright issues.
Military support. Make no mistake about this. We promised them 33 Abrams tanks in January. I heard again 2 weeks ago in Ukraine, they still don't have them. We've been telling them we'll train their F-16 pilots, but now they're saying maybe January we'll let somebody transfer some jets.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vice President, have you, I know you're running for president. You are distressed that the Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks. Every city in the United States has become much worse over the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Drive around. There's not one city that's gotten better in the United States. And
before I go any further, sorry to interrupt, but Mike Pence looks pissed off. He looks angry. And you know, as a matter of coincidence, he's been to Ukraine twice here in the last 6 months, including last week. Anytime a Republican goes over there to hug on Zelensky, it's very possible for campaign contributions or empty promises, or there's got to be an angle for people like Mike Pence to go over there whispering in Zelensky's ear. And if you listen, it sounds like he's going to bat for Zelensky already. Not even been back from Kiev a week. And look what's happening.
it's visible. Our economy has degraded. The suicide rate has jumped. Public filth and disorder and crime have exponentially increased. And yet, your concern is that the Ukrainians, a country most people can't find on a map, who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars, don't have enough tanks. I think it's a fair question to ask, like, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern.
Oh, did you hear that shit, folks? He said it's not my concern. He wants to be the next president of the United States. No chance of that happening. But if he did get the job, the people of the United States' problems are not his concern. His biggest concern is Ukraine's border, tanks and jets for Ukraine, and funding to Ukraine. If that doesn't say enough about this guy, it sounds like he's Ukraine first instead of America first, where he should be. Let's go ahead and get into the rest of it, folks. This guy is a sickening mess, and I think if he had any standing at all, anybody that was going to vote for him up to this point, he may have just killed his campaign with this one statement alone.
Tucker, I've heard that routine from you before, but that's not my concern. I'm running for president of the United States because I think this country's in a lot of trouble. I think Joe Biden has weakened America at home and abroad. And as President of the United States, we're going to restore law and order in our cities. We're going to secure our border. We're going to get this economy moving again. And we're going to make sure that we have men and women on our courts at every level that will stand for the right to life and defend all the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution.
Now, them are all good talking points, and it's great to say that you stand for all those things, but Trump is the only person I've seen so far come out with actually an agenda. Not just saying we're going to fix things, but actually has a laid out plan called Agenda 47 as to how he's going to fix a lot of things, from the weaponization of the government to this human trafficking thing going on, the open borders, the economy. Trump's got a 100-point plan as to how he's going to fix this country, and it all gets laid out in his weekly Agenda 47 posts that he does over here on YouTube and over on Truth, and it explains how he can actually nuts and bolts get it done, how the process is going to be. This guy is just another uniparty politician that's like, yeah, we're going to fix everything when I get back in there, and that's the end of the statement. Question is, how are you going to fix it? How are you going to change things? Because you're not going to do it without the Congress, the Senate, the American people, without fighting the bureaucracy. And I don't see that Pence is going to fight anybody. He is obviously a weak man, and he has proven that to be self-evident from what happened way back when on January 6th.
Anybody that says that we can't be the leader of the free world and solve our problems at home has a pretty small view of the greatest nation on earth. We can do both. And as President of the United States, we will secure our border, we will support our military, we will revive our economy and stand by our values, and we will also lead the world for freedom under my administration. I promise you.
Amen.
Sounds like he needs to go back to Ukraine. Sounds like he likes Ukraine better than he likes us these days, folks. I just hate to hear it. Now, that is on Blaze Media. It was choosewell2024.com. This whole thing is on the internet in several different places. I found it over on Facebook. Various different clips of it over on the Gateway Pundit. But I'm going to play you one more short little clip here of what Mike Pence said. But Vivek Ramaswamy had some really good things to say as well. I thought were just basically epic as far as his brutal honesty. I like Vivek because he speaks his mind, and I believe he speaks from the heart. And I can't say that about too many at this point. Let me back up a little bit here and see if I can find this other Mike Pence interview clip. Now here, Tucker Carlson laughs at Mike Pence talking about those machines. You know which ones I'm talking about, the Dumb Onions and the Smartmatic. Now I'm not sure if I'm not supposed to say those names on this station here, but we're going to do it anyway. Now it says here, Justin Tucker Carlson laughs in Mike Pence's face for being reluctant to agree the U.S. should get rid of electronic machines. Now I won't spoil it for you. We'll go ahead and jump right into it. And then I'll do the whole like, subscribe, and share. And when I say like, subscribe, and share, folks, I say this.
It's the first state to do this.
Does
I'm somebody that
actually help the algorithm. It helps me from being shadow banned so bad from the algorithm when people do comment, like, subscribe, and share on these videos, and it helps the channel grow. So anybody who does that, I do appreciate it, and I do like to hear from people in the comment section. Just tell me what they think about the current videos I'm pushing out for you. Well, let's go ahead and get into this. This is a ridiculous statement if I ever heard one as well, but Tucker serves him up.
It's the first state to do this. I'm somebody that believes that you ought to be required to give a picture ID when you go in to vote. We ought to have voter ID in every state in America.
Sounds reasonable.
But with regard to voting machines, I would tell you we had them in Indiana, but in Indiana and elsewhere, they produce paper ballots. Recounts were taken in states around the country. And I think it's absolutely essential that we do everything in our power to restore public confidence in the one person, one vote principle at the heart of this republic.
Why not just get rid of electronic voting machines and call it a day, and then we don't have to debate it?
Yeah.
Well, I would certainly be open to that.
Is there a downside?
But what I believe, Tucker, is that states govern elections. States ought to conduct our elections. In fact, our founding fathers debated this at the Constitutional Convention.
So basically what he's saying is, instead of getting into the debate of whether voting machines are credible or not, if the elections have any nefarious issues going on, if harvesting is legal or illegal, instead of discussing any of that stuff, which are vulnerabilities, he wants to obfuscate to something else. He doesn't want to talk about the possibility that 2020 had issues. He'll never admit that, folks. He's right up there with Bill Barr, Lindsey Graham, and a lot of these other rhinos that can't admit the truth about anything if it goes against their uniparty lobbyist narrative. Afraid they're going to lose $1 if they even mention the fact that everything wasn't up and up on the 2020 or the 2022. When rules are changed in order to accommodate one particular political party, there's nothing fair about that. There's nothing involving integrity about that. And that's just the way I feel. Mike Pence is a piece of crap for a politician. He should go back to being a radio host and leave the politics to the professionals, to the people that actually got a pair, that are willing to speak the truth and stand up and do their job like they're supposed to. This guy has got zero chance of making it. This is only about exposure, trashing Trump, and all the money that gets thrown into his coffer behind the RNC trying to find somebody to replace Trump. And it just ain't going to work. But you know, all these folks are basically getting paid to stand up here and pretend like they're going to primary Trump. We all know better. Like, subscribe, and share. Devoted Patriots. There's a lot more clips about this particular summit, all these interviews that Tucker Carlson had with everybody. Go check out the one with Vivek Ramaswamy. It's really, really enlightening to hear Vivek explain what he would do to try to help this country. It sounds a lot like Trump, folks, believe it or not. Like, subscribe, and share. Devoted Patriots. Everybody have a great day.